Good morning. I'd like to bring the March 18, 2020 Planning Advisory Commission meeting to order. And first of all, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to ask you, if you would, please silence or turn off your cell phones. And I'll remind those in the audience and those watching by television that this is the first hearing of any rezoning case, text change, or special exception request brought before us today. We will first hear a reading of the staff report for the case by planning staff and ask the applicant to provide a brief overview of the request. We will then give the opportunity for anyone in the audience to speak for or against that request or to inquire about the said request. The commissioners will have any needed time for any needed discussion on the case. Once a motion is made and seconded by the commission, a vote will take place and a recommendation will be rendered. The case will go back to the planning department for their independent recommendation, and if a favorable recommendation is given, then the case is then forwarded to city council with the two independent recommendations. If the planning department makes a recommendation for denial, the applicant will then have 10 days from receipt of a letter stating the denial to notify the clerk of council that they are requesting to be placed on city council's agenda. The city council of Columbus will hold a public meeting, first reading. Said council shall consider the case, review PAC and planning department recommendations, and hear discussion on the matter. Council will make a final decision at a second public meeting called the second reading. All right, our first item is generally the approval of minutes from March the 4th. We have not received those, so we're going to bypass that, and we'll move on to our rezoning cases. Our first rezoning case is REZN 02201222, and this is a request to rezone 0.61 acres of land located at 3276, 3278, 3280, and 3288 Victory Drive. Current zoning is GC, which is general commercial. Proposed zoning is RMF 1, residential multifamily 1. The proposed use is multifamily. NeighborWorks Columbus is the applicant, and this property is located in Council District 7, Mimi Woodson. We'll first hear from the planning department on the staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. REZN 02201222. This case is not consistent with the comprehensive plan, planning area C. Current future land use is mixed use. I'm sorry, those are backwards. General commercial. It's compatible with existing land uses. The property does not lie within the floodway or floodplain area. The developer will need an approved drainage plan prior to issuance of a site development permit. The property is served by all city services. Average annual daily trips will increase by 705 trips if used for commercial use. The level of service will remain at B, and multifamily is considered commercial. The site shall meet the codes and regulations of the Columbus Consolidated Government for commercial usage. The site shall include a Category A buffer along all property lines bordered by the GC zoning district. The three options under Category C are 1, 10 feet with a certain amount of canopy trees, understory trees, and shrubs, ornamental grasses per 100 linear feet. 5 feet with a certain amount of shrubs, ornamental grasses per 100 linear feet, and a wood fence or masonry wall. 20 feet undisturbed natural buffer. It's not within Fort Bennet's notification range. It's not a DRI. Surrounding zoning, to the north is GC, south is RMF 1, east is GC, and west is GC. 20 property owners within the 300 feet of the subject properties will notify the rezoning request. The planning department received no calls or emails regarding the rezoning. For additional information, this will tie back into the property at 1104 Leslie Drive that you all rezoned January, February?
Yes.
So it's tied to that project.
Right.
That's
Okay.
it.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson. Any commissioners have any questions? Planning? All right. Is there a representative from NeighborWorks? Please come up to the podium there and state your name and address for the record.
Good morning. Thank you
Good
all
morning.
for having me here today. My name is Lance Renfro. I represent NeighborWorks. Our address is 345 6th Street here in Columbus, Georgia. And this project is, like Will said, but a continuation of a zoning request that we had back in December. We plan to build approximately 100 single and multifamily units on the 35 or so acres that we have in conjunction with First Baptist Church. So this will be a big thing for Victory Drive, something that hasn't been out there before, and we hope to have lots of good outcomes from it.
Okay, so it's just a continuation,
Yes, sir.
an addition. Commissioners, y'all have any questions of Mr. Renfro? Yes, sir.
I do, sir. What is the purpose? Because I see that's general commercial, but it's actually occupied by some manufactured homes in there.
Yes, sir.
Are they being informed? Are they going to have to move?
To my knowledge, they will not have to move at this point.
Okay. If they do have to move, is it going to be on their own dime?
We will absolutely work with them to make sure that they move in an appropriate manner.
That's all I got, sir.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Mr. Renfro.
Thank you.
Did you have a question? Yes, sir.
Mr. Renfro, when is the project going to take place? And how long is it going to be before it's completed?
Well, we are working on getting all of our ducks in a row, so to speak, and I would anticipate we will not break ground until next year. So it takes a while to get the capital stack, the funding in line, so we are working on that at this point. So we do not have an exact timeline to break ground at this point.
Okay, and with the project, will it be affordable housing or?
It will be completely affordable housing, yes, sir.
Okay.
Our mission is to bridge that gap between affordable housing and the low and moderate income constituents who we serve.
All right, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Mr. Renfro.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing there's no one in the audience, I will ask, is there anyone in the audience like to speak for or against the case? Please come ahead. And that said, there's no one here. All right. Commissioners, do we have a motion for this case? Yes, sir. Mr. Greenblatt.
Yes, regarding case REZN 02201222, applicant is NeighborWorks Columbus. Address is 3276, 3278, 3280, and 3288 Victory Drive, approximately 6.1 acres. Current zoning is GC, proposed zoning is RMF1. I move that we approve.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Second. All right. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All right, it's unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Renfro. All right, we'll move on to our second case, REZN 02201223. This is a request to rezone 4.20 acres of land located at 1775, 1751 Boxwood Place. Current zoning is GC, general commercial. Proposed zoning is RO, residential office. The proposed use is multifamily. Lucy Jones is the applicant. This property is located in Council District 1. Mr. Barnes, we'll hear from planning staff first on the staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. REZN 0220-1223. This case is consistent with the general land use, planning area D, future land use designations mixed use. It is compatible with existing land uses. The property does lie within a floodplain area. Developer will need an approved drainage plan prior to issuance of a site development permit. Property is served by all city services. The average annual daily trips will increase by 30 from 244 to 278. For commercial use, level of service will remain at B. This site shall meet the codes and regulations of Columbus Consolidated Government for commercial usage. There's no school impact, no buffer requirement. This is not within Fort Bennington's notification range. This is not there's no DRI. Surrounding zoning to the north, south, east, and west is all GC. 30 property owners within 300 feet of the subject properties were notified of the rezoning request. We didn't get any calls or emails. This is, I believe, a DCA tax credit effort for affordable housing. You can't see it on the maps that you have, but there is one existing. Does no good to point to it on television, but right over here on Boxwood Boulevard, that was done in the early 2000s. So
Yes.
there's one already right there in that immediate area, another apartment complex, as well as the one next door, even though it's zoned, it's existing non-conforming zoning-wise.
Okay. All right. Commissioners, y'all have any questions of Mr. Johnson? Yes, sir. Mr. Dudley?
Yes. In the staff report, in one of the diagrams we saw, there was an indication that part of the property was wetlands. And there was language in the staff report saying that the developers would need an approved drainage plan before they get a site development permit, if a permit is required. In this case, is a permit going to be required? And they going to have to do anything because it's wetlands?
It's a floodplain. They will have to do a 2-foot elevation on any construction.
Okay, and that's before approval?
Yeah, that'll be part of their site development permit to do a 2-foot elevation, so it'll be built up.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Will the applicant please come forward, step up to the podium, and give us your name and address for the record, please?
Good morning. I'm Lucy Jones with the Woodruff Property Management Company located at 3580 Massey Lane in Columbus. And yes, we're proposing a 72-unit, 4-story, all-interior corridor multifamily project. It'll consist of 1- and 2-bedroom apartments ranging from $675 to $775 a month. Those are the market rents. We'll have a minimum of 10% will be market rent with this project. If you do make a lower income and qualify, we could reduce the rent as low as $400 a month for a 1-bedroom and $475 for a 2-bedroom. The units would obviously be a combination of restricted income and market rents. The interior units will be fully equipped kitchens with ovens, fridge, microwave, dishwasher, disposal, ceiling fans, and washer and dryers. We will have an incredible amenity package, and like Will said, we can't just point over there because we're on TV, but I think for the location, the amenities will be amazing. We'll have a community garden, we'll have a fitness center, a wellness center, picnic areas, and I think it will be a vast improvement to the location on Boxwood. The community will be about 15,000 square feet of amenities for the residents. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
All right. Commissioners, you have any questions? Mr. Greenblatt?
I think this question may be for staff. Mr. Johnson, it looks like there's only one way in to this piece of property at this point, and next to it seems to be a fairly substantial build also. Would there be a need for an emergency to have a second exit?
It would if she had over 99 units.
Okay, but for the other two, they wouldn't combine for that same?
No, the way engineering would look at it as this single unit, because that one there is non-conforming.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
And back to Mr. Dudley, and I'm sorry, I'm just now looking at the site plan. They are leaving wetlands there up against Lindsay Creek, and I'm guessing that that's mainly so they don't have to mitigate it, which goes somewhere else, and if they develop that, they'd have to mitigate wetlands elsewhere. So leaving that as is financially for them is evidently probably better.
Yes, sir.
But even with it being one way in, what about emergency response teams or police trying to get in, park cars and get out? There still wouldn't be a need to have another way out?
No. That Boxwood Place is, for some reason, a very wide right-of-way for that kind of street, and it's got excellent access for public safety.
Plus it's 72 units.
And it's
So
just 72 units, so
that's correct.
we cannot by ordinance require them to have another access.
Okay.
All right. Any other
Thank you all for
questions?
your answers.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Ms. Jones.
Thank you.
Again, there's no one in the audience, but I will ask the question. Is there anyone here that would like to speak for or against this case? And that was quick enough. Commissioners, we open the floor up for a motion.
I motion.
Yes, sir.
When it comes to REZN 02-20-1223, a request to rezone 4.20 acres of land located at 1775 and 1751 Boxwood Place. Current zone is GC, General Commercial. Proposed zoning is RO, Residential Office. The proposed use is multifamily. Lucy Jones is the applicant. The property is located in Council 1 District Barnes. I motion that we approve it.
All right. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second, Mr. Derby. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. And it's unanimous. Thank you, Ms. Jones. All right. We'll move on to new business. The next meeting scheduled for April 1st, 2020. And we also have another meeting that would be scheduled for, so we've got April 1st, April 15th. We're going to go ahead and move that forward due to the coronavirus outbreak and concerns there. And then we also may go ahead and cancel the 15th.
Let's go ahead and suspend or cancel the 1st.
Okay.
If, obviously, things are changing daily, if the 15th comes in jeopardy, we will just announce it publicly from the planning department.
All right.
And, of course, let all of you know.
Okay, that's fair enough. So, folks, we'll just go ahead and plan to skip the April 1st meeting, and again, just be on the lookout for an email or a notification on the 15th meeting. So, do you have cases scheduled for the 1st?
We do. We have, I think, 4 for the 1st and 1 for the 15th.
Okay, so we may
So
consolidate.
we would put them all on the 15th if that meeting is held.
That's right, and then, of course, we'd move into May. All right, any other new business we need to discuss here this morning? Any old business? All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.